So when we're doing head and arm throw, hopefully we're thinking ahead and we know kind of what we want to do to make the submission, okay? So if I don't have the uniform, I'm gonna grab the back of the tricep and it's still gonna be head and the lat muscle. That's really what I'm looking for, okay? If we're in a wrestling position, he's kind of here and I'm kind of here, I wanna tie up this arm if I can, and then I wanna push the head this way. All of those are still almost the same, okay? So we're gonna start from a traditional grip, right? I'm gonna move in, I'm gonna kick, through, and I'm gonna land in this position, okay? I've got access to this arm immediately. Hopefully he's smart and he starts holding on because he doesn't want me to start affecting that arm. There's a lot of things that we can immediately do, okay? So the first thing is I can just hold on to him here, hold on here, and then I just drop my weight onto his ribs and I start collapsing his chest, which is hard for him to breathe. He'll get tired. Probably he'll start pushing away a little bit, okay? If I can tangle this arm this way, right, then I can pull on it and I can lift his head when I do that. And that makes it very uncomfortable on his ribs. Can we do that? So again, once you get here, watch. This is a point. I hold on to my leg. If I can, I want to pull this arm, right? And then now watch. I push this into the ground and lift my hips up. My weight's on him. Then when I lift his head, it gets way uncomfortable, okay? That far only. So, when I go to make my throw, let's do it from this direction so we don't have to dance around us, right? I go to make my throw and also levitate it this way, and he's gonna have a harder fall, right? Kind of keep that in mind that you can do that version or the down on the knee version, depending on if you're in a wrestling tournament. Sometimes they get mad if you throw them from high, so you go to your knee first, and that's pretty good. If you're not in a wrestling tournament or a jiu-jitsu tournament, particularly if you're in a judo tournament, you want to slam them, right? That's kind of the deal. Otherwise, in combat, what I really want to do is I want to make this position, and I want to tuck. All right, so Lyndon wants to escape. So what he's going to try to do is he's going to try to interlock his hands and control my upper body. Now, notice how low I am. It should be difficult for him to pull me over his body. Try to roll me, Lyndon. All right, now watch. If I'm just this much higher, small difference, he should be able to do it. Everybody see the difference? And now he's got the advantage. So how we land is important. Okay. So I'm gonna control this arm. Once his shoulder touches the mat, he can start to escape. So I don't want that. I put my knee under that. Now watch. If he can wiggle out and get his shoulder to the mat, he starts turning on his side and he gets his shoulder to the mat. Now, I think I've got him, but he can grab me and then he can get his legs right next to me. We call it like spooning somebody, like you're gonna hug him from behind. He gets this leg all the way on top of this leg, and then now he becomes my base and he pulls me onto his body. When he does that, then I can be easily rolled as well. So I gotta control that shoulder and I gotta keep my weight at a certain place. Can we do it? All right, so again, I'm gonna get here and I'm gonna hold him. Lyndon's job is to make his escape. And if I've got him well, he shouldn't be able to escape. Go. Does everybody see? Now watch. I give him an inch and he gets his shoulder out. See? Now, he can start maneuvering and he can roll me over. Okay? Everybody see the difference in that small space? If you give them space, they will escape. Thanks, sir. Make the escape. You get to do really what I consider the fun part. The fun part's always what? Submission, right? So there's a lot of things that I can do from scarf hold, okay? But I have to have good control, good base, all right? If I don't have good base, I can't do much of anything. If his hand is in the high position because he wants to try to roll me, I'm gonna put my thumb underneath, go ahead and hold on tight, and then I'm gonna start pushing this way and try to control that. So I got my elbow, my hand inside there. Now I can push this down. I can now lock it with my leg. His elbow is facing in that direction, which means if I move this leg this way, he should tap. Okay? See how I locked his elbow and it didn't go but so far? All right, so I just do this, I got the first straight arm lock. If he's not tapping, then I get here and I just pull up on his head. Okay, so there's still that. Let's make the straight arm lock. Okay, so again, if he's up high, great. Pull this out, tuck this in. I've got some space, break the grip, hook this up. I've also immobilized his shoulder here. If I want, I can grab my belt. That shoulder is locked. And I just do this motion here. All right, now some of you guys are gonna do this. All right, that is not gonna do it. If you wanna do that one, you get control of it, and then you have to rotate this up and then that down. Okay, so you gotta bridge this up and then push that down. I'm pulling it back. Everybody see that? His hand's in a slightly different position, then I can do this one, okay? Does it make sense? Straight arm lock from scarf hold position. Okay.
I'll be careful with that elbow.
Who told you to have a bad elbow? All right. So again, the hand is up here, right?
Yeah.
Right? Now I've immobilized that arm in a way that, see how it's kind of angled this way? It's not necessarily angling down.
Yeah.
If it's angled this way, then I just capture it and I just do this. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If I get to here and she's not tapping, I lift up on her head. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right. If you're finding that this one's weird, slide down a little bit, and I'm going to armbar it this way across this leg. So this leg is going to push down, this leg's going to push up this way, which is going to give me the small lock. Okay?
You do the other one.
Am I killing you?
Yeah.
All right. Questions on that? Thank you so much. I wanted to show you so you can talk about what if the hand turns slightly. What are we going to do? All right. So we're here and we're tight, right? And again, he's probably trying to hold on. Don't forget, by the way, in Jiu-Jitsu we got some, they're not really rules, they're kind of guidelines. Generally, you don't gouge the eye in Jiu-Jitsu. That's considered rude. In street fight, gouge the eye. Suddenly, he will let go and start trying to get this hand off of his face. Oh, good, that's what I wanted, right? So we got this one, there's the straight arm lock, right? But let's say, for example, that he comes up a little bit on his side, and then the arm goes here, and when I do this one, he bends the elbow this way, so it's hard for me to get. Everybody see? What I'm just gonna do is I'm gonna shift it to this foot, right? So we've got Kimura lock, okay? Now I can reinforce, but I got him here, right? I got him. That's gonna affect, I don't even have to apply a whole lot of pressure. I can just hold this. Now watch, I'm gonna lift the head again. It just affects the shoulder and the elbow in a really uncomfortable way, right, Lyndon?
Yes.
All right, so remember that Americana is essentially this, right? But when it's down low, it's really effective. Everybody agree with that? So you might notice that if I pin his hand here, this just moves. Doesn't hurt. But if I pin his hand down here, it's not a lot to give, right? So I lift and I just crank that elbow. The elbow itself probably won't pop, it'll hurt. The shoulder should really be affected, okay? Now, I can crank it down far this way, right? I can hold it and I can lift his head. Either way works pretty good. Give it a try. Trying to snatch a hand out of thin air and suddenly lock it. I find that to be old school jiu-jitsu, and I find it to be hard. It's not impossible. I know people that do that crap and they're good at it. I'm not good at that. Here's what I do. I grab, I make the throw, and I immobilize. And once they're not moving, man, I can control an arm at that point. Does that make sense? So you must immobilize, you must control, okay? Make sense?
Yes, sir.
So the reality of this series is that I should be able to grab Lyndon, make throw, make lock here, and finish the fight in one or two pretty reasonable steps, okay? Let's say, for example, that I've got him here, right? And he's not tapping. The next question is can he move? So, Lyndon, can you really escape?
Not really.
Can you grab me and roll me? Because I'm controlling his arm. He's going to tear up this arm mostly, right? So again, if this is all not working well, I just immobilize here and I go back to this. Does that make sense? Or I go to this and put my thumb in his eye. Does that make sense? All right, there's things you can do in self-defense you can't really do in a jiu-jitsu setting, jiu-jitsu match. All right, let's say, for example, that the hand is here, right? And I make this space, grab my belt, hold here, break the grip. Now watch, I can take this elbow and I can push it to my ear. And now I've got a head and arm choke. Does that make sense? Sure. So this arm needs to press across this part of his neck. My bicep is on that part of his neck, which is choking him this way. Okay? If I tuck this in low here, and I feel like, oh, that's pretty tight. Maybe I want another inch. I lift, I grab my bicep, and I crank my bicep in this way. Now, can you breathe?
Kind of.
A little bit. Let me give you
a little bit.
Can you breathe a little bit better?
Yes.
All right, so when I crank, this is where I'm tightening it up. I'm cinching it up. Sometimes this still won't be enough. I'm gonna now turn my arms around his head and make a circle. Okay? Does it make sense? All right. Let's see. Give Lyndon a chance to kind of see the angle here. So I'm here, maybe I've made a good throw and I'm in this position, right? I go to push this arm down to make arm lock and she rotates it up quickly. No problem, that's what I want. I'm happy with that as well. Now I'm gonna tuck all this in. You see how I'm almost ear to ear with her. I start making this gable grip, that's the first position. Then I grab my bicep and I start cranking this way. Can you breathe? A little bit? A little bit. All right, so I should be able to tap her out here, but again, once I get this, I start circling and twisting. And that's the finishing piece, okay?
Yeah.
Does it make sense? All right, get a partner, go. Oh, nice work. Good defense. All right, so you gotta use your legs to pull me in, right?
Yeah.
You gotta get past my hands. All right, now, if you can get cross choke, get past my hands. Doing good, sir. You're doing good. Work that escape. Good escape. Good work, brother.